circling. Okay, we're good.
Okay. If you don't know me, I'm Sarah Haydenfeld, and I'm going to walk you through how to make your site look really pretty on both desktop and mobile. When we're in there and we're designing, especially the custom homepage, when we're designing that, I know it's really easy to take a look at how it looks on the desktop, since mostly we're editing it on the desktop, but the majority of people are going to be on their mobile. So in order to go back and forth, like Janelle said, this is going to be just some super quick tips to get that, to get it looking great both ways. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, can you see my screen?
We also want to say, just before we get started, is that if you guys have questions when we're done with this, we are going to like stop the recording. And so if you have questions that you want to ask, whatever it may be, we'll answer those at the end. And then for those of you who have purchased our course already, those of you that just did not want to tackle everything on your own and grab the Simple Start to Get Oiling, we are going to jump on a Zoom after this, and we are going to go through whoever's site that they want us to look at it. So sorry. Housekeeping.
Yep, we're good. Okay, so this, I'm just going to share this template. This is our second free template that we gave you. And when you scroll through it, you know, the header is nice and big for on the desktop. Looks really great on desktop. Now, you can grab your phone and view this page on your phone while you are, while you're going through on the desktop. That's a really easy way to do it. For this Zoom, I'm going to show you an option too. It's kind of hard to get there now, but I did talk to Greg, and I think in the future they're looking at getting an option put in to Get Oiling where you can go back and forth while you're editing to see what it looks like on desktop, what it looks like on mobile. So I think that I know that's on one of their to-dos. So eventually that might happen. Okay. So right here, like I said, it looks really great. I'm going to flip you over to show you what it looks like on mobile. This is just an option in Chrome. You can open up some develop tools in Chrome, and I'll show you what that looks like. And it'll show you this is what it's going to look like on mobile. So as you can see here, that extra large, the header that looks really great on desktop looks terrible on mobile because it is so big. Okay. And you can go through, you can scroll down and look to see how it works on mobile. Okay. So I'm going to show you, give you a tip on what to do for that. All right. So I'm going to go back to our desktop view and I'm going to go into our editor. Okay. You can move this out of the way here. When you go to look to edit the background image, if you click on this little circle, the little black and white circle, it gives you all of your options in here. Down here at the bottom, this is showing up, this section right here, the header is showing up on mobile, on tablets, on small computers and large computers. All right. So what I want you to think of is this part right here. We love how it looks on desktop and how it looks on, even on tablets, it looks okay. All right. But on mobile, we're going to get rid of it. So I want you to, we're going to uncheck the mobile device. All right. So now if you were to go over to your mobile, this part is not going to show up. Okay. So to get it back, what I want you to do is you're going to duplicate this section, and which is these 2 pages right here. And that just makes a copy of it. All right. So this is the one we are going to keep for our desktop. And we're going to go down here and we're going to edit this one to show up on mobile. All right. So we're going to go edit the section background. And since I made a copy, this one is not showing up on mobile. So we're going to switch it. Okay. So we're just doing the exact same thing, except this one you're going to show on mobile. Uncheck all of the other ones. All right. And that way, when we hit view, let me save this. And we hit view. The mobile one that we just added does not show up. All right. And when you go back to here, well, let's go to view and I'm going to show you what it does for mobile. Let's make our edits first. Sorry. So let's make this one really pretty for mobile. We know that it is too thick. All right, so we're going to take that width down using the top and the bottom padding. You can, this horizontal background position, you're not going to see anything on desktop when it's moving. That's something you're going to have to go back and forth on mobile to see. And what that's doing is that flower image in the background, it is moving it from one side to the other on mobile device. All right. And that just takes a little bit of playing, going back and forth, the same way with the vertical background position. If you have text over that, it is just back and forth. Okay. It's just back and forth to see what you really like, what and to see how it looks. Okay. So we're going to just take that down a little bit. And then also I'm going to hit done. Also, we have to be mindful on mobile of the text size. So we're going to take that text size and we're just going to decrease it a little bit. It's at 48 now. Let's try 36. And let's try, and like I said, this is just something that you just get used to how you like to see it on a mobile device. Right now it's at 23. Let's try 18. I'm going to save that. We're going to view it. I'm going to find that desktop. Where did that go? Hid it from me. Now on mobile, do you see where now the header, and we can still play around with it a little bit. The header looks way better on mobile. Okay, and that bigger one is not showing up because we don't have it checked. You can check spacing, you can check anything that you need to take a look at, and just going back and forth. Now I'm doing it on the desktop here, but you don't need to do that. You can grab your phone while you're sitting at your computer and then just refresh it. If you're opening it up on your phone, you can go back and forth, refresh it, make any changes, and then just, refresh it, make any changes. That flower image back there, let's say I wanted to move it left or right, then you take that horizontal slider when you go back in. Let me show you here. You're going to move the background position. You're going to move the horizontal slider. You can move it any way you want. You can move it up and down for vertical. The top and bottom padding is how thick you're going to make it. And then let me think here. What also I wanted to, when we're talking about text in mobile and how it looks on a mobile device versus how it looks on a desktop, if you're using the add feature to add any of the pre-made sections, those are pretty stinking responsive on a mobile device. So when you're using them and you're putting text in there, they do transfer over. They transfer over pretty well. So if you're putting any text in, and you be sure and use these if you can, just to automatically make it more responsive through mobile. And then we also need to think a little bit about SEO as well. So when you're putting words in like this right here, if you're putting your about me and about what you talk about, if you want the search engines to pick up on that, it's called SEO, search engine optimization. So instead of putting a picture, like let's say we designed something in Canva that had some text in it, the search engines aren't going to pick up that text. Okay, so they're not going to know what your site is about. If you're putting actual text into the sections, your SEO is going to improve. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind as far as mobile and desktop. Let's see. One more tip I wanted to show you, and it does help on mobile. If you are, let's say I'm going to edit this, and there's more space in between here. Let me show you this. Be sure to take a look. If you hit enter, it might not do it on this because it's pretty responsive already. If you hit shift enter, it's going to make the space in between lines thinner. It'll be a single space. So sometimes on mobile, you'll want to see that. You'll want to, if there's a huge space in between different lines of text, and when you hit enter, it just automatically leaves that space. One tip is to hit shift, enter, and then it'll decrease that space a little bit. Janelle, is there anything that you wanted to add? Like I said, it's pretty quick. I mean, those tips are going to take you, it's going to take you a long way in the look between it.
Yeah. Myrna wants you to go to view it, this page again.
Okay. On the mobile.
Myrna, do you want the mobile? You can come off of mute. Do you want the mobile or just the desktop version?
No, I just would like to see where you went to do the work that you're doing. So just back one step and then show us again, like, are you you're clicking settings on this page? I just wanted clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, where I'm doing all of this editing.
Yes.
Yeah, if you just open up your page, let me go back here. Go back to the page in your, if you go to my site settings and pick up your page that you're wanting to edit, when you open up that page, this comes up, the editor for you. And then you can, if you go to add, or right here where I duplicated it, I'm not sure if I'm answering this question correctly. You can make the duplications there. Is that what you're, I think I might be off still on what you were asking.
Okay, and then you went to toggle between the desktop and the iPhone. Was that in settings?
Write this down.
Yeah.
Write this down. Because it is the easiest thing right now to get to this. Okay. Like I said, I did talk to Grant eventually. I mean, we're hoping for a button to do this right in here seamlessly. If you're on Chrome, okay, you're on Chrome, go to, do you see in the top right-hand corner, these three dots? I don't know if you can see it. It's probably small on your screen.
No, we can see it. I mean, I can see
Okay, good.
it.
Okay, there's three dots in the top right-hand corner. If you click on those, you go down to more tools and then developer tools. That'll pop up a window. It might not look like this. It might be on the, it's probably going to be on the side of your screen. I just made it a little bit smaller. You open it up like this and it's just a whole bunch of code and gibberish. I mean, unless you know code.
Yeah, we can't see the code and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there's a window that will pop up.
Do you think if you stop the screen share and change the view, we want to show you this because this is important if you're wanting to just look at it from your desktop.
Yep. Let me do this here.
Now, some of you might be looking at this and being like, oh my gosh, this is still so complicated. But I will tell you, if you do this like 3 times in a row, it's going to become second nature, right? You know, just like using our oils. When we get into that habit, it's going to be easy. But the great thing is once you have your pages set up, like you're not going to have to be going back and editing for mobile. Once they're set up, they're done.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about our custom homepage. It's already, that work is done for you. It automatically, if you're not switching around sections too much, it automatically looks beautiful both ways. So that is really cool. But you're going to get into this on different pages. So if you go to the little 3 dots in the corner, now does it pop up for you?
Yep. Well, I mean,
Okay.
at least we could see this part before.
Oh, you couldn't see the other one. More tools, developer tools.
There we go.
Okay. And then this will pop up. Don't mess with any of this stuff in this box. Okay.
Don't touch the coding.
Don't touch the coding. But at the very top, you see where you can see it looks like a cell phone and a computer. This little button right here. That toggles it back and forth. Now, somewhere, I'm sure of it, we can figure out how to get this shortcut into the tools in Chrome so it just automatically pops up. I'm not there yet. So somehow, I mean, I think if, if I can find that update, I can sure get that to you guys. But for now, follow those steps and then this little window will be there. So while you're working on it, you can just automatically click and then it'll go back and forth for you. Okay. And then here, see, I didn't save my settings. I didn't save my changes the last time. So you can see both of those sections show up on mobile because I didn't uncheck it. You guys kind of understand why that's showing up. And like Janelle said, I know that at first it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around this. And when you're looking at your screen, when you're looking at the editing part of it, when you're behind the scenes, this is how it's going to look. And you're just thinking, I mean, in your head, it's hard to wrap your mind around what it is actually doing. But when you go in there and you take a look at, here, didn't give me those. You can remind yourself that this one is only showing up on mobile because that is the only one that is checked. Okay.
Does anybody have any questions about this? Okay, I'm gonna hit the stop recording and